There are hundreds of problems to solve and hundreds of solutions to provide. But not all of them are going to be good ideas, or not all of them are going to be good solutions. Not all of them are going to be useful for people that are going to use them. So talk to people. Once you discover your idea, start charting them out, make notes, talk to your parents, see if it's something that's worth solving and whether your idea is really useful for someone and it's going to be useful for some other people in the near future.
Let's talk about the next example, right? M&M. It's an amazing thing actually that every child, every adult still love it. If I see an M&M, first thing is I would want to taste it. And then again, of course, I choose the color which I like so that it makes it juicier and nicer, right?
M&Ms were first sold in 1941, but when World War II began, they were sold exclusively to the U.S. military. Because the sugar coating prevented the candy from melting in warm climates like the Pacific, M&Ms were issued in cardboard tubes as part of the soldiers' rations. During this time, the M&M factory in Newark, New Jersey produced 200,000 pounds of M&Ms per week.
So it's a beautiful thing that what they did. And the biggest problem with any chocolate is somebody hands over a handful of chocolates to you. A few minutes later, you're finding it that your hands are messy, it's very difficult to keep it in hand, things like that. So what M&M did is something very creative. They said, well, let's create a layer on top which doesn't melt that quickly. But the moment you put it in your mouth, it starts melting, right? And they didn't stop there. That's the best part. They worked hard to create the solution, right? Which you'll be able to hold it in hand for a little bit without it melting. But they wanted to use that as well, right? So they created a tagline or a USP which called a chocolate that doesn't melt in your hand but melts the moment you put it on your mouth. And it is something which is very, very special and very unique that it actually improved the perception of chocolates and the perception of how M&M can be very valuable for you, right? These are things which will highlight the advantage of a product and take it forward.
How is your product or service different from others in the market? It could be anything from additional services to personalized customer service. You can even offer them better after-sales warranty and support. While writing a business plan, you just need to highlight the extras that your customers are getting from you to make your business stand out. Take action. And of course, without action, all else is a waste. This is the most important part of writing a business plan. You can plan all you want, but unless you do the actual work and bring customers to your storefront, you won't earn anything. Even if you find that according to the business plan, your idea isn't viable, don't give up. There are thousands of other ideas out there, and you can ultimately find one that suits you. If you wish to be wealthy, healthy, and happy, there is a business waiting for you to grab it. Start your research today. Jot down all those brilliant ideas, set your goals, define a path, and don't let anyone stop you. Now you know how to write a business plan, and the mantra for success is in your hands. Make the best of it.
The next one that we are going to talk about is FedEx. FedEx is, the moment you say FedEx, everybody feels that things will be on time. Is it easy to create a perception like that? Can you imagine the logistical challenges of moving products or parcels across from one location to another across the world? It's a big challenge, right? And FedEx really wanted to solve a problem of getting things overnight to a customer.
This video was made possible by Squarespace. Build your website for 10% off at squarespace.com/Wendover. Overnight shipping is an absolute masterpiece of logistics that happens every single night. It may not be cheap, but you can get a package shipped from Miami, Florida on a Monday to Anchorage, Alaska by 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. In fact, you can even ship a package, for example, from Edinburgh, Scotland on a Tuesday and have the package arrive in Anchorage, Alaska by 9 a.m. on Wednesday. The speed and efficiency of these worldwide delivery networks is mind-blowing, and it all happens while we sleep.
And you know what? There was no solution prior to that. because everybody depended on a typical USPS service, which the priority mailer would be 2 to 3 days, and it'll make it there someday, but it'll make it there. That's how it was working, right? And FedEx said, let's solve this problem. So they worked hard in their logistics, worked and tried to find out ways of getting things overnight moved from one location to another. And they were successful, but they didn't stop there. They wanted to create a tagline which will take it further than that. So they came up with a USP or a tagline that said, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. And it was a very simple tagline, but that conveyed the message very clearly that இன்னைக்கு FedExல அனுப்பிச்சோன்னா நாளைக்கு காலையில் it will be there. அந்த ஒரு specific tagline created by them improved the perception of people that, man, it's possible for us to move things overnight now. And people started using FedEx a lot more when compared to any other transportation company. So it's a beautiful example of how to create a USP and make it special. Next, a very interesting topic we all love. As kids, adults, everybody loves it. It's part of our daily lives almost, pizza. Of course, right? Who doesn't like pizza? Of course. Over a birthday party, you cannot just get away without having a pizza, right? So let's talk about Domino's Pizza. Domino's actually was not all that great in terms of their market share for the longest time. Okay, they were behind people like Papa John's and Pizza Hut and things like that. They wanted to create something unique, and they wanted to do a solution which will help every single person, kind of gravitate towards Domino's, right? So they said, let's do something where we are able to create a pizza from scratch and get it delivered to your address within 30 minutes or less. It's very, very difficult. Sometimes it just takes 30 minutes for you to heat up a pizza, right? So they said, let's create an option where people would be ordering over the phone or online or whatever it is, mainly over the phone because this was a while back. And let's order it, and 30 minutes or less, the pizza should be there. And they didn't stop there. They said, if your pizza is not there within 30 minutes, we'll give you your money back. So they created a USP which said 30 minutes, you'll get your pizza 30 minutes or less or your money back. And guess what? People started ordering it left, right, and center because they knew that they're giving a statement that if you're unable to get your pizza in 30 minutes or less, we'll not take your money. And you know what? That was a big runaway success for Domino's, and it propelled them to be a much bigger company than what they were at that moment. Of course, unfortunately, they had to stop it because there were too many accidents, and that created a lot of challenges for them. So they had to move away from that. But this is an example of how you commit something, and when your USP, if you're able to commit that, people will love that and they'll gravitate towards you compared to your competition. So that's a beautiful way of doing that as well.
So how I started developing my first product was I identified a problem. And what happened was I saw a blind person at a park. They were walking and they hit their head on a tree branch. And so that's what got me thinking. If someone can injure themselves while walking, then that's a problem that needs to be solved. And so I started developing my first product, the Mavi, and that's a device that helps blind people travel safely and efficiently with or without a cane. And this is how you're supposed to develop a product. You find a problem, you create a solution, you talk to other people and make sure that it's a viable solution, and then you do more research. So when you do your research, what you have to do is you have to look into who you're selling it to and if they're going to buy it. You have to look into how exactly you're going to help them and if it's a good solution. And you have to also look into how many people there are.
Know your customer. This goes without saying. Customers are the most important part of any business, and you should know the customers your business caters to. Today, customers are spoiled for choice, and they have thousands of options for every product. So, if you want them to buy your product, you should know what your ideal customer wants. This is the reason why you need to define your target populations and research their habits while writing a business plan. Understanding the motivation behind customers' actions can make your business successful. You can focus on the areas that grab your customers' interests and stop wasting energy on the rest. Put yourself in their shoes and then think what would make them choose you each time. Write down the ideas and implement them.
So for my product, the Mavi, we've researched how many blind individuals and visually impaired individuals there are in the world, in America, and in Texas. So in the world, there are over 378 million blind and visually impaired individuals. And in Texas, there's over 602,000. That's a lot of blind and visually impaired people.
Know your market. It often happens that you have a brilliant idea, but someone else has already started a business with a similar plan. This is a very common occurrence, but you should not let this stop you. How many petrol stations are there? Several businesses can provide the same service and still survive, as the marketplace is huge and it can sustain multiple businesses. But for this, you should know your market like the back of your hand. Research and find out how many competitors you have, what services they offer, what are the current and future trends of the industry.
And how do you approach your solution? So let me just talk a bit about what comes after you become an entrepreneur, or what is that you need to put right at the base for your entrepreneurial journey. It's nothing but giving back to the community. In industry, we call it as corporate social responsibility, CSR. That is a key aspect for every entrepreneur. It's not about what you're going to give back to the community in terms of money. It is all about how is your business is growing or is being developing with that social responsibility. Let me give you a story from Mumbai. I don't know how many of you have been to Mumbai, and especially to the Worli Sea Face. If you go in the morning, there is a juice seller. He's an organic juice seller. He's just a very small guy. He just brings it in his own bike and he sells it right there. What he sells is an organic wheatgrass juice. He sells that for 20 rupees a glass. And then he also has another can next to him. If you ask him what it is, he will tell you it is a neem juice. And if you ask him for the neem juice, yes, he will get you the neem juice, but for free. Why is he giving it for free? He tells you, wheatgrass, yes, I gotta go and buy it sourced from the market, so there's a cost involved in it, and I'm selling the wheatgrass juice. But the neem, he said, the neem trees are available everywhere. So he goes out, just pluck those leaves, he makes the juice, and he gives it for free. He knows where to make the money and where he's content with. I mean, I've seen few people telling him that, why don't you charge 5 rupees or 10 rupees for the neem juice? But he says, no, he's good, he's content with it. So in your social responsibility, make sure you are giving back.
So my solution, the Mavi, is actually very inexpensive because we know that a lot of blind individuals, they don't have the means to buy expensive products. So ours will be roughly $300, and that's very affordable for them, so a lot of individuals can buy it. And we are also talking with major organizations who can buy the Mavi from us and donate it to the other blind individuals. And we are also doing another program where 1% of our profits will be donated to blind individuals.
I hope you all got a good idea of what is USP all about, and how do you really come up with a business idea, and how do you fine tune it, right? And hopefully these examples that we talked about and you looked at were able to convey the message to you, and I hope this will be useful for you to take it forward and create your own business idea and your USP, which will take it forward and propel your business ideas further and further. Good luck to you all.